First strike. The first shots of the war weren't fired from massive capital ships or orbital platforms. They came from a civilian mining vessel, the Helios Dawn, dispatched to investigate what everyone thought was a routine asteroid anomaly in the Kuiper Belt. Sarah Chen, the vessel's geological survey chief, had been analyzing the strange readings for 3 days when she noticed the crystalline formations weren't natural at all. They were artificial, a vast network of cloaked surveillance devices that had been watching Earth for decades. The Kraxan Empire's monitoring network had remained undetected for 60 years, right until Sarah's specialized mineral scanning equipment picked up the unique resonance patterns of their quantum crystalline technology. When she transmitted her findings back to Earth, she had no way of knowing she had just triggered the invasion protocols of the galaxy's most militant species. The Helios Dawn's cameras captured the moment when space itself seemed to tear open. Massive warships, their hulls gleaming with an otherworldly purple-black metal, emerged from what the crew would later learn were dimensional rifts. The Kraxan, believing their surveillance network compromised, launched their long-planned invasion 12 years ahead of schedule. Multiple contacts emerging from unknown spatial anomalies. The Helios Dawn's sensor operator's voice cracked with panic. They're everywhere. Sarah watched in horror as the first plasma torpedoes streaked past their ship, heading toward Earth's outer defense platforms. The Kraxan hadn't even bothered to destroy the mining vessel. They considered it too insignificant to waste ammunition on. That would prove to be their first mistake. The Helios Dawn was equipped with experimental quantum entanglement communications gear, technology that Dr. James Morrison had insisted on installing despite budget constraints. Conventional signals can be blocked, he had argued. We need something that can't be jammed. Sarah's warning reached Earth 8 minutes before the first Kraxan ships entered weapons range of the defense platforms. Those 8 minutes changed the course of human history. General Maya Patil was having coffee in the Global Defense Force headquarters when the quantum alert came through. She didn't hesitate. "Execute Protocol Thunderbolt," she ordered, her voice steady despite the magnitude of what she was authorizing. Across Earth, hidden facilities hummed to life. For 50 years, since the discovery of the Roswell debris, humanity had been preparing for this moment. Not with just defensive technology, but with an intricate web of deception that made Earth appear far less advanced than it actually was. The Kraxan Fleet Commander, Supreme War Master Krell, watched with satisfaction as his ships approached Earth's crude orbital defenses. His species had spent generations studying humanity, cataloging their weaknesses, their primitive nuclear weapons, their quaint space stations. Victory was a mathematical certainty. The first salvo from his fleet's plasma cannon streaked toward Earth's orbital platforms. The obsolete human defenses would be vaporized in seconds, opening the way for the invasion force. But the platforms didn't explode. Instead, they shimmered and vanished, holograms, hiding the real defense grid that had been built in secret. From behind the false images, hundreds of sleek orbital weapons platforms emerged, their designs unlike anything the Kraxan had seen in their surveillance. Impossible. Krell's secondary hearts began pounding as his tactical display lit up with warnings. The humans had shields, quantum resonance barriers that shouldn't have been possible with their level of technology. "All ships, full attack pattern," he ordered, but it was too late. Earth's real defense grid opened fire, not with primitive nuclear weapons or chemical rockets, but with graviton beams reverse-engineered from the Roswell craft. The Kraxan's shields, calibrated to defend against known human weapons, proved useless against technology their own scientists had only theorized about. 3 Kraxan capital ships were torn apart in the opening volley. The others scrambled to adjust their defenses, but the humans had another surprise waiting. From hidden bunkers on the moon's surface, electromagnetic pulse cannons powered up. Technology the Kraxan had dismissed as theoretical when they detected research into it decades ago. The pulses swept through space like invisible tsunamis, overwhelming the Kraxan ship's electrical systems. Warships worth trillions of credits were reduced to drifting hulks. On the Helios dawn, Sarah watched in amazement as humanity revealed its true technological capabilities. The mining ship's crew cheered as the mighty Kraxan fleet fell into disarray. But this was just the beginning. The Kraxan Empire controlled thousands of worlds, and they would not take this humiliation lightly. Yet in those first crucial hours, humanity had achieved something remarkable. They had shattered the myth of Kraxan invincibility. In his command center deep beneath the Himalayas, Dr. Morrison allowed himself a small smile as he monitored the quantum entanglement network. "Send word to all stations," he instructed his staff. "Phase 1 is complete. Begin Phase 2. The message went out on channels the Kraxan couldn't detect, reaching hidden human outposts throughout the solar system. Humanity had been preparing for this day, not just with weapons, but with contingency plans within contingency plans. The first battle was over. The real war was about to begin. The Alliance. 3 weeks after humanity's stunning victory over the Kraxan invasion fleet, Ambassador Elena Rodriguez stood in a chamber that shouldn't exist. Deep beneath the ice sheets of Europa, a secret diplomatic facility hosted representatives from 7 alien species, all of them seeking alliance with Earth. The Meridian, a species of crystalline beings who had quietly watched the Kraxan for centuries, spoke first. Their ambassador, a towering figure of translucent purple crystal, chimed melodiously as translation software converted their resonances to speech. "For 3,000 cycles, we have endured Kraxan dominance." The Meridian ambassador's words echoed through the chamber. "You humans achieved in one battle what our civilizations couldn't accomplish in millennia. You proved them vulnerable." Elena studied the other delegates, the Serpentine Villar, masters of bioengineering who had been forced to create weapons for the Kraxan. The ethereal Zin, whose mastery of quantum physics had been suppressed through force. The Mechanical Construct Collective, artificial beings who had escaped their Kraxan creators. Each species brought unique capabilities and desperate reasons to stand against their oppressors. "The Kraxan will return," Elena addressed the gathering. "Their next attack will make the first look like a scouting party. We welcome your support, but Earth needs more than allies. We need your knowledge." The Vilar representative, a sinuous figure named Sisteri, slithered forward. "Our bioengineering could enhance your soldiers, make them stronger, faster." The creature's forked tongue flickered. "But our last allies betrayed us to the Kraxan. Why should we trust humans?" Dr. Morrison, who had insisted on attending despite security concerns, activated a holographic display. It showed the Helios Dawn, the mining ship that had first detected the Kraxan presence, now transformed into something extraordinary. "Because we don't just adapt technology," Morrison explained. "We combine it in ways no one has imagined." The display zoomed in, showing how human engineers had merged construct collective quantum processors with Zin energy matrices, creating hybrid systems that defied conventional physics. The construct collective's representative, a hovering sphere of intricate machinery, pulsed with interest. "Impossible. Our processing architecture is incompatible with Zin quantum fields." "Impossible for you," Morrison smiled. "But we humans have a talent for making the impossible work. We don't see boundaries between different technologies. We see opportunities." In orbit around Mars, the first fruits of this philosophy were taking shape. The Helios Dawn, once a simple mining vessel, had become a testbed for merged technologies. Vilar organic computers interfaced with human neural networks. Meridian crystal matrices amplified Zin energy weapons. Each combination created something new, something the Kraxan had never encountered. But the real breakthrough came from an unexpected source. The etheric, mysterious beings of pure energy who had watched galactic affairs for eons sent a representative to the Europa facility. Their arrival sent shockwaves through the gathered species. The etheric hadn't intervened in physical realm affairs for thousands of years. Their emissary, a swirling vortex of golden light, addressed Elena directly. "We have observed your kind since you first kindled fire in caves. Your greatest strength isn't your technology or your adaptability. It's your ability to unite disparate forces. The Aetheric revealed that Earth wasn't chosen by chance for Kraxan invasion. Humanity's unique brain structure, their capacity to innovate and connect seemingly unrelated concepts, made them dangerous to the rigid order that Kraxan sought to impose on the galaxy. You don't just adopt technologies, the Aetheric explained, its light pulsing with each word. You transform them, combine them, improve them in ways their original creators never imagined. This is why the Kraxan feared you enough to attack before you reached the stars on your own. Elena seized the moment. Then let's prove their fears justified. Not through conquest, but by showing the galaxy a different way. Every species here has suffered under Kraxan dominance. Together, we can build something new. The alliance took shape over the next days. Each species contributed their strengths. Vylar bioengineering, Meridian crystal technology, Zin quantum physics, Construct collective artificial intelligence, and more. But it was humanity's ability to merge these different technologies that transformed them into something revolutionary. On Earth, preparation for the Kraxan's return accelerated. The Global Defense Force reorganized into the Earth Alliance Command, incorporating alien advisors and technology. But they did it the human way, not by simply adopting alien methods, but by reinventing them. Dr. Morrison's team worked tirelessly in facilities around the solar system, creating hybrid technologies that redefined what was possible. They called their approach convergence engineering, the art of finding unexpected synergies between different species technologies. The Kraxan would return. Everyone knew that. But when they did, they wouldn't face just humanity. They would face an alliance of species united by a shared vision, armed with technologies that transcended their original designs. In her quarters after the historic meeting, Elena reviewed the Alliance Treaty. Something the Aetheric had said stuck with her. The Kraxan's greatest weakness is their belief that order comes from control. They never understood that true strength emerges from diversity united by choice. The real war was coming. But for the first time in galactic history, the pieces were in place to break the Kraxan's grip on the galaxy, not through superior firepower, but through the power of unity, innovation, and the uniquely human gift for making the impossible possible. Project Phoenix. Mars Base 1 had transformed. What began as a simple research outpost now sprawled across Valles Marineris, its facilities extending deep into the red planet's crust. Dr. James Morrison stood at the central command hub, watching as teams of humans and aliens worked together on what many called impossible Project Phoenix. The quantum crystal matrix is stable, reported Dr. Sarah Chen, now head of hybrid technologies. She gestured to a pulsing crystalline structure that merged Meridian crystal tech with Zen quantum fields. But we're still having trouble with the power distribution. A construct collective engineer, its mechanical form adapted to work alongside humans, interface directly with the system. Human innovation continues to defy expected parameters. This merger of technologies should not function, yet it does. Morrison smiled. 6 months had passed since the Alliance formation, and every day brought new breakthroughs. The Kraxan's invasion had unknowingly sparked something unprecedented, a technological renaissance born from the combination of multiple species knowledge. Project Phoenix wasn't just about creating weapons. It was about fundamentally changing how different technologies could work together. The project's first success came when human engineers discovered that Vylar biocomputers could synchronize with human brainwave patterns, creating neural interfaces far more advanced than anything previously achieved. In the testing chamber, Captain Maya Rodriguez demonstrated this breakthrough. Her mind merged seamlessly with a Vylar-enhanced fighter craft, her thoughts controlling the vessel with precision that amazed even its designers. "It's like the ship is an extension of my body," she reported, executing maneuvers that would be impossible with conventional controls. But the real breakthrough came from an unexpected source. Elena Martinez, a young quantum physicist working with Zen researchers, discovered that human consciousness had unique properties when interfacing with quantum systems. Unlike other species, human minds could maintain quantum coherence at a macro scale. It's not just about controlling the technology, Helena explained to Morrison as they observed a test. Human consciousness can actually influence quantum states in ways that shouldn't be possible. We're not just users of these systems, we're becoming part of them. The implications were staggering. The meridian crystals, when exposed to human-influenced quantum fields, developed new properties. They could store and process information in ways that defied conventional physics. The Construct Collective's AI systems, merged with these enhanced crystals, achieved levels of computation that bordered on prescience. But Project Phoenix's greatest achievement remained hidden in the depths of Valles Marineris. Deep underground, a massive chamber housed what the team called the Nexus, a revolutionary defense system that combined all their technological breakthroughs into something unprecedented. The Kraxan believe in overwhelming force. Morrison addressed a gathering of project leaders. They'll return with a fleet large enough to crush conventional defenses. But thanks to our alliance, we're not building conventional defenses. The Nexus demonstration left even the etheric observers speechless. Human consciousness, amplified through Velar biotech and channeled through meridian crystals, could create quantum fields that altered the very fabric of spacetime. The Construct Collective's advanced AI predicted possible attack vectors, while Zen quantum technology allowed instant response across vast distances. We're not just building weapons, Sarah Chen explained to the assembled team. We're creating a defense system that learns, adapts, and evolves. The more the Kraxan throw at it, the stronger it becomes. The project faced its first test sooner than expected. A Kraxan scout fleet, attempting to probe Earth's defenses, encountered a small outpost protected by early Phoenix technology. The resulting battle lasted less than 3 minutes. The Kraxan ships found their advanced weapons useless against defenses that adapted to each attack, while quantum-enhanced counterstrikes bypassed their shields completely. The few surviving Kraxan vessels fled, carrying word of their defeat back to their empire. But they didn't understand what they had truly encountered. They reported facing advanced alien technology, never realizing that humanity's greatest weapon wasn't the technology itself, but their unique ability to unite and transform it. In his private quarters that night, Morrison reviewed the battle data. The Nexus had performed beyond their highest expectations, but he knew the real test was yet to come. The Kraxan would return with everything they had, determined to crush this threat to their dominance. But as he watched humans and aliens working together throughout the base, Morrison felt a deep certainty. The Kraxan's rigid adherence to power through force had made them strong, but it had also made them predictable. Project Phoenix represented something they couldn't comprehend: the power of diversity, innovation, and the unpredictable creativity of the human mind. The next phase was about to begin, and when the Kraxan returned, they would face something unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen: the combined ingenuity of multiple species, catalyzed and transformed by humanity's unique gift for making the impossible possible. The Council's Gambit. The Galactic Council's chamber on Nexus Prime was designed to intimidate. Floating platforms held representatives from the galaxy's most powerful civilizations, arranged in concentric rings that rose hundreds of meters into the artificial atmosphere. At the center, standing alone on the testimony platform, Ambassador Elena Rodriguez refused to show any sign of being impressed. High Counselor Vex, a being of living plasma contained within an ornate mechanical shell, spoke first. Humanity's actions have disrupted the careful balance we have maintained for millennia. Your alliance with outlier species threatens galactic stability. Elena noted how the council members shifted uncomfortably at the mention of the alliance. These weren't Kraxan puppets. They were worse. They were the enablers who had allowed the Kraxan's dominance to continue, all in the name of stability. We've reviewed your evidence against the Kraxan Empire, another counselor, a telepathic entity of pure thought, projected into the minds of all present. While their actions were aggressive, they were operating within established protocols for handling potentially disruptive emerging civilizations. Elena activated a holographic display, showing the devastation from the Kraxen's initial attack. Is this your definition of established protocols? Her voice remained steady, but carried throughout the vast chamber. Or is it only acceptable because humans were the targets? The Council's response came in the form of an offer. Supreme Arbiter Call, a being so ancient that light seemed to bend around their form, presented terms that would have once been considered extraordinarily generous. Earth will be granted immediate Level 2 civilization status. Call's words resonated at multiple frequencies. All Kraxen military actions will cease. You will receive technology transfers, trade rights, and a seat on the Lesser Council. A pause. In exchange, you will dissolve your alliance with the outlier species and submit to Council oversight. Back on Mars Base 1, Dr. Morrison and Sarah Chen watched the proceedings through quantum entanglement feeds. They're scared, Morrison observed, not of our technology, but of what we represent. Sarah nodded. We're proving that cooperation is stronger than domination. That's a dangerous idea for those who maintain power through control. The Council's offer was just the beginning. When Elena rejected their terms, they launched a more subtle campaign. Trade routes to Earth's allies were mysteriously disrupted. Strategic resources became scarce. Diplomatic pressure was applied to neutral species, warning them away from contact with the dangerous humans. But humanity had anticipated this. The Helios Dawn, now transformed into a mobile research and diplomatic platform, began a covert mission throughout the galaxy. Under the guise of a merchant vessel, it made contact with dozens of species who had suffered under the Council's stability. Captain Maya Rodriguez, commanding the Helios Dawn, discovered something the Council never expected. Their attempts to isolate Earth had the opposite effect. Species that had never dared to resist now saw hope in humanity's defiance. They made a critical mistake, Maya reported back to Earth Command. Their propaganda about our disruption of galactic order made other species curious about us. Every attempt to isolate us only spreads our influence further. The Council's next move was predictable but dangerous. They released data suggesting that human consciousness, when merged with alien technology, created unstable and potentially catastrophic effects. They claimed that Project Phoenix threatened the very fabric of space-time. Elena confronted these claims in another council session. You speak of stability. She addressed the assembled representatives. But what you really mean is stagnation. Humanity doesn't just adapt technology. We improve it. We find connections others missed. And yes, that frightens you, because it proves your entire system is built on artificial limitations. The council chambers erupted in chaos as Elena revealed their own classified research. Documents showing how the council had systematically suppressed technological innovation. Evidence of deliberate policies to prevent species from reaching their full potential. The council's carefully maintained image of benevolent oversight began to crack. But the real blow to the council's authority came from an unexpected source. The Aetheric, who had maintained neutrality in council affairs for eons, broke their silence. Their representative appeared in the chamber, its energy form casting golden light across the assembled dignitaries. The council speaks of stability. The Aetheric's words resonated through multiple dimensions. But true stability comes from growth, from the merger of different perspectives. Humanity has proven this. Their Project Phoenix succeeds not because of superior technology, but because they understand something you have forgotten. The strongest systems are those that embrace change. As Elena left the council chamber that day, she knew their diplomatic victory was as significant as any military triumph. The council's attempt to isolate Earth had failed spectacularly, exposing the corruption at the heart of their system. They'll side with the Kraxen now, she warned Earth Command. Openly or secretly, they'll support the coming attack. But in doing so, they'll prove everything we've claimed about their true nature. Morrison's response from Mars was typically optimistic. Then they've already lost. They just don't know it yet. Breaking chains. The Kraxan assault fleet emerged from hyperspace in waves, their ships darkening the space around Mars. 5,000 vessels, supported by another 3,000 ships from Council-aligned species. It was the largest military force assembled in 10,000 years. Supreme War Master Krall stood on his command deck, watching tactical displays light up with target data. "Begin the attack," he ordered. "Show these humans the price of defiance." But Earth's forces didn't retreat to defensive positions. They advanced. The Helios Dawn led the counterattack, its hybrid systems pulsing with power that defied conventional sensors. Captain Maya Rodriguez, her consciousness merged with the ship through velar biointerfaces, moved through space with impossible grace. Behind her came the combined fleet of the Earth Alliance, vessels that represented the unified technology and determination of 7 species. "Remember the plan." Dr. Morrison's voice carried through quantum channels that the Kraxan couldn't detect. "We're not here to destroy them. We're here to show them a better way." The battle began with a demonstration. The Nexus system, now fully operational throughout the solar system, didn't just defend against the Kraxan weapons. It transformed them. Energy beams meant to destroy were caught in quantum fields and converted into defensive barriers. Missile barrages were turned into clouds of harmless light. Impossible. Krall watched as his fleet's most powerful weapons were neutralized. No defense system can do this. No technology can. "It's not just technology." Elena Rodriguez's voice cut through every communication channel in the Kraxan fleet. "It's understanding. Something your empire has forgotten in its quest for dominance." The next phase of the battle demonstrated this truth dramatically. The Meridian crystal ships, enhanced by human quantum innovations, created corridors of altered spacetime. Kraxan vessels found their weapons firing into empty space while Alliance ships seemed to appear and disappear at will. The Construct Collective's AI networks, merged with human intuition through Project Phoenix interfaces, predicted and countered Kraxan tactics before they could be executed. It wasn't just technological superiority. It was a fundamental shift in how warfare itself could be conducted. Krell ordered his reserve fleets to advance, but they never arrived. Throughout the galaxy, species that had suffered under Kraxan rule chose this moment to rise up. The Council's attempt to isolate Earth had backfired spectacularly, spreading the ideas of resistance and cooperation instead. In the Council chambers on Nexus Prime, the carefully maintained order collapsed. Dozens of species, inspired by Earth's example, denounced both the Kraxan Empire and the Council's complicity in their oppression. The age of enforced stability was ending. Back in the solar system, the battle reached its crucial moment. The Helios Dawn, leading a strike force of hybrid ships, penetrated the Kraxan fleet's defenses. But instead of destroying Krell's flagship, they surrounded it in a sphere of quantum energy. "You've lost, Warmaster." Maya's voice carried a hint of compassion. "But unlike you, we don't seek to destroy our opponents. We offer a different path." Through the quantum sphere, the Kraxan crews witnessed visions of possibility. Worlds where different species worked together, where technology served creation instead of destruction, where diversity bred strength instead of conflict. The Aetheric had helped design this final weapon, not one of destruction, but of revelation. The quantum sphere showed the Kraxan and their allies the fundamental truth that humanity had discovered. The universe thrived on cooperation, not control. Krell's flagship stopped firing. Then another Kraxan vessel. Then another. Throughout the fleet, crews lay down their weapons, faced with a reality that challenged everything they had been taught to believe. "This is Warmaster Krell." His voice sounded aged, transformed. "All ships, stand down." In the aftermath, as representatives from hundreds of species gathered on Earth to forge a new galactic compact, Elena Rodriguez stood with Dr. Morrison watching the sunrise over the Pacific Ocean. "Did you know it would work?" she asked. "Did you really believe we could change an entire galaxy's way of thinking?" Morrison smiled, watching ships from dozens of species moving through Earth's skies, not as conquerors or subjects, but as equals. Humanity's greatest gift isn't our technology or our adaptability, he said. It's our ability to imagine better possibilities and inspire others to believe in them too. Above them, the Helios Dawn prepared for another mission, its hybrid systems humming with power. Captain Rodriguez and her crew would lead an expedition beyond known space, seeking new species to join their growing alliance. Not through force or domination, but through the simple, powerful idea that had changed the galaxy. Together, we are stronger than alone. The Kraxan Empire transformed into a cooperative federation. The Council reformed, with power distributed among all species equally, and humanity, the species that had started as a target for conquest, became known throughout the galaxy not as conquerors, but as liberators, the ones who prove that the strongest chains are those we choose to forge together.